There's a story that's been told for generations, a story about black love. It's a story that's been shaped by movies, music, social media, and sometimes even by the people closest to us. But what if I told you that much of what you think you know about black love is built on myths? Myths that have been passed down, repeated, and believed until they've become almost invisible, woven into the fabric of our culture. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain. We're going to look at the biggest myths about black love, and we're going to bust them wide open. Let's start with a scene you might recognize. Picture a couple, two black people, maybe sitting across from each other at a small table in a cozy restaurant. There's laughter, there's warmth, there's a spark. But outside that window, the world is watching. Sometimes it's cheering them on. Other times it's doubting, questioning, or even rooting against them. Why? Because black love, in all its forms, has always been more than just romance. It's been a symbol, a battleground, a source of pride, and sometimes even a target. But before we get into the myths, let's talk about why they matter. Myths aren't just harmless stories. They shape how we see ourselves and each other. They influence who we choose to love, how we love, and even whether we believe we're worthy of love at all. They can lift us up, or they can hold us back. And when it comes to black love, the stakes are high. Because for so long, black love has been under attack by history, by stereotypes, by systems that tried to keep us apart or tell us we weren't enough. So, what are these myths? And why do they stick around even when we know, deep down, that they're not true? Maybe it's because they're easy, maybe it's because they're everywhere, or maybe it's because sometimes it's easier to believe a myth than to face the complicated, beautiful, messy reality of real love. Let's start with the first myth. Black love is rare. You've heard it before. Maybe you've even said it yourself. The idea that black couples, especially happy, healthy, lasting black couples, are some kind of unicorn, a rare sighting in a world full of heartbreak and broken homes. But is that really true? Or is it just a story we've been told over and over until we started to believe it? The truth is, black love is everywhere. It's in the couple who's been married for 50 years, still holding hands on their front porch. It's in the young couple building a life together, facing challenges and celebrating victories. It's in the single parent raising their child with love and hope. It's in the friendships, the families, the communities that lift each other up in times of need. Black love is not rare. It's resilient, it's revolutionary, and it's real. But why does this myth persist? Part of it is history. For centuries, black families were torn apart by slavery, by laws that made it illegal for black people to marry, by systems that tried to erase our love from the record. Even after those laws changed, the damage lingered. The media picked up the story and ran with it, painting black love as fragile, doomed, or dysfunctional. But the truth is, black love survived. It adapted, it thrived, even in the face of impossible odds. And yet, the myth remains. You see it in the headlines, in the statistics, in the way people talk about the decline of the black family. But what those stories don't tell you is the other side, the side where black love is strong, creative, and enduring. The side where couples support each other through thick and thin, where families come together to celebrate and mourn, where communities rally around each other in times of need. Let's move to the next myth. Black men don't love black women. This one is especially toxic, and it's everywhere, from social media debates to song lyrics to casual conversations. It's the idea that black men are always looking elsewhere, that they don't value or cherish black women, that black women are always left behind. But is that really the case? The reality is much more complex. Yes, there are challenges. Yes, there are wounds, some of them deep, some of them still healing. But there is love. There is loyalty. There's a long history of black men and women standing together, building together, loving each other fiercely in a world that often tries to pull them apart. The myth ignores the millions of black couples who choose each other every day, who fight for each other, who build families and legacies together.
If you look closer, you'll see couples who have built something lasting, not because it was easy, but because it was worth it. You'll see love that is tested, but not broken. You'll see relationships that are built on trust, on shared values, on a deep commitment to each other's growth and happiness. Let's take a moment to talk about the myth that black love is only valid if it looks a certain way. This myth is subtle, but it's everywhere. It's in the way we celebrate certain couples and overlook others. It's in the images we see on magazine covers, in movies, and on social media. It's the idea that Black love has to fit a specific mold, two people, both conventionally attractive, both successful, both fitting into a narrow definition of what a perfect couple should look like. But real love doesn't fit into a box, and Black love is as diverse as the people who create it. Think about the couples you know. Maybe it's the high school sweethearts who built a life together even when everyone said they wouldn't make it. Maybe it's the single parent who found love again after heartbreak. Maybe it's the couple who met later in life, who blended families and created something new. Maybe it's the queer couple who had to fight for their right to love openly. Black love is all of these stories and more. This myth is dangerous because it erases so many people. It tells us that if our love doesn't look a certain way, it's not real or it's not worth celebrating. It tells us that only certain kinds of relationships are valid and everyone else is left out. But the truth is, Black love is expansive, it's creative, it's revolutionary. It breaks the rules and makes its own. Where does this myth come from? Part of it is the media. For years, the images of Black love that made it to the mainstream were limited, often sanitized, and always carefully curated. The couples who didn't fit the mold were left out of the story. But the reality is, Black love has always been diverse. It's always been about finding connection, building family, and creating joy, no matter what it looks like from the outside. If you look closer, you'll see love in all its forms. You'll see couples who are building blended families, who are navigating long-distance relationships, who are making it work despite the odds. You'll see love that is unconventional, that is bold, that is unapologetic. You'll see people who are choosing each other every day in ways that are unique to them. Let's talk about another myth, that Black love is always political. This one is complicated because there's some truth to it. In a world that has tried to erase or undermine Black love, simply loving each other can be an act of resistance. But the myth goes further. It says that Black love is only valuable if it's making a statement, if it's fighting a battle, if it's carrying the weight of the world. But love is personal. It's intimate. It's about two people, sometimes more, finding connection, building trust, and creating a life together. Yes, Black love can be political, it can be a source of strength and pride, but it's also about joy. It's about laughter, about inside jokes, about quiet moments that no one else sees. It's about building a life that feels right, even if no one else understands it. This myth puts pressure on couples to be perfect, to represent something bigger than themselves. It tells them that their love isn't enough unless it's changing the world. But the truth is, every love story is valuable. Every relationship matters. You don't have to be a symbol or a spokesperson to be worthy of love. If you look closer, you'll see couples who are just living their lives, who are building families, chasing dreams, and supporting each other. You'll see love that is ordinary and extraordinary at the same time. You'll see people who are choosing each other, not because they have to, but because they want to. Now, let's address the myth that Black love is always under threat. This one is rooted in real challenges: racism, economic inequality, violence, and more. But the myth goes further, painting Black love as fragile, as something that's always on the verge of breaking. It tells us that happiness is temporary, that joy is fleeting, that love is always one step away from disaster. But the truth is, Black love is resilient. It's strong. It's built on a foundation of shared experience, of mutual support, of deep understanding. Yes, there are challenges. Yes, there are moments of pain. But there is also healing. There is also hope. There is also a determination to keep going, to keep building, to keep loving. This myth can be paralyzing. It can make people afraid to love, afraid to hope, afraid to believe that happiness is possible. But if you look closer, You'll see couples who are thriving. You'll see families who are building legacies. You'll see communities who are supporting each other, lifting each other up, and creating spaces of safety and joy. Black love is not always under threat. Sometimes it's just love, simple, beautiful, and real. Sometimes it's about two people finding each other in a crowded world and choosing to build something together. Sometimes it's about laughter, about comfort, about the quiet moments that make life worth living. To a myth that's often whispered in the background, shaping expectations and quietly influencing choices. Black love means struggle. This myth is so deeply embedded that sometimes it's hard to even notice it's there. It's the idea that Black couples are supposed to suffer, to fight, to overcome endless obstacles just to be together. It's the narrative that love is only real if it's been tested by fire, that happiness is always hard-won, and that peace is a luxury reserved for someone else. But where does this myth come from? Part of it is history. For generations, Black love has survived in the face of unimaginable adversity. Slavery, segregation, discrimination, and systemic injustice. The stories of couples who made it through, who held on to each other when the world tried to tear them apart, are powerful and important. They remind us of the strength and resilience that runs through our communities. But somewhere along the way, the story got twisted. The struggle became the expectation, the norm, the only way to measure the depth of love. The danger of this myth is that it makes struggle seem inevitable, even desirable. It tells us that if things are easy, if love is peaceful, if happiness comes without a fight, then something must be wrong. It can make people stay in unhealthy relationships, believing that pain is just part of the package. It can make couples feel guilty for being happy, for finding joy, for building a life that isn't defined by hardship. But the truth is, Black love does not have to mean struggle. Yes, there are challenges. Yes, there are moments when the world feels heavy, but there is also ease. There is also comfort. There is also the possibility of building a relationship that is defined by joy, by laughter, by mutual support. There is nothing wrong with wanting peace. There is nothing wrong with choosing happiness. If you look closer, you'll see couples who are thriving, not because they've suffered, but because they've chosen each other day after day. You'll see relationships that are built on trust, on communication, on a shared vision for the future. You'll see love that is gentle, that is nurturing, that is healing. You'll see people who are building lives that are full of light, even in the face of darkness. Let's talk about another myth, that Black love is only for the young. This one is everywhere, especially in the images we see in the media. Young, beautiful couples are celebrated, their stories told and retold. But what about the couples who have been together for decades? What about the love that grows and deepens over time, that weathers storms and comes out stronger on the other side? The truth is, Black love is ageless. It's not just for the young, the beautiful, the newly in love. It's for everyone. It's for the couple who met in high school and built a life together. It's for the couple who found each other later in life, after heartbreak and loss. It's for the couple who have been together for 50 years, who still hold hands and laugh at each other's jokes. Black love is not just for the young. It's for anyone who is willing to open their heart, to take a chance, to build something real. It's for the couple who are starting over, who are learning to trust again. It's for the couple who are growing old together, who are finding new ways to love each other every day. Now, let's address the myth that Black love is always heterosexual. This one is especially harmful because it erases so many experiences in our community. Black love is not limited to one kind of relationship. It's not just about a man and a woman. It's about connection, about partnership, about building a life together, no matter who you are or who you love. The truth is, Black love is queer too. It's found in same-sex couples, in non-binary partnerships, in relationships that don't fit into traditional boxes. It's found in the stories of people who had to fight for their right to love openly, who have built families and communities in the face of rejection and discrimination.
This myth is dangerous because it sets unrealistic expectations. It tells us that love should always be exciting, always be passionate, always be new. But the truth is, real love is about showing up day after day. It's about doing the hard work, about supporting each other, about building a partnership that can weather any storm. It's about finding joy in the ordinary, about creating a life that feels right, even when it doesn't look like a movie. If you look closer, you'll see couples who are building lives together. You'll see partners who are best friends, who laugh together, who support each other's dreams. You'll see relationships that are built on a foundation of trust, of respect, of shared values. You'll see love that is deep, that is lasting, that is real. Now, let's address the myth that Black love is always in competition. This one is especially common in a world that values individual achievement, that celebrates competition and rivalry. It's the idea that partners are always competing over money, over success, over who's in charge. It's the narrative that love is a zero-sum game, that one person's gain is another person's loss. But the truth is, real love is about partnership. It's about working together, about supporting each other, about building something that is greater than the sum of its parts. It's about celebrating each other's successes, about lifting each other up, about sharing the load. It's about knowing that when one person wins, the whole relationship wins. This myth is dangerous because it creates division. It tells us that we have to choose between love and success, between partnership and independence. It makes it hard to trust, to be vulnerable, to share our dreams and fears. But if you look closer, you'll see couples who are building together. You'll see partners who are each other's biggest cheerleaders, who celebrate each other's victories, who support each other through setbacks. Black love is not a competition. It's a collaboration. It's about building a life together, about creating something that is unique to you. It's about finding joy in each other's happiness, about sharing the journey, about growing together. Let's explore a myth that's often internalized, sometimes without us even realizing it. Black love is less valuable than other kinds of love. This myth is rooted in centuries of negative messaging, in the way Black relationships have been portrayed or ignored by mainstream culture. It's the idea that Black love is somehow less pure, less worthy, less important than the love stories we see celebrated in movies, books, and advertisements. It's a myth that can seep into our self-worth, shaping how we see ourselves and our relationships. But where does this myth come from? Part of it is the legacy of racism and exclusion. For generations, Black love was hidden, criminalized, or dismissed. Our stories were left out of the fairy tales, the romantic comedies, the epic love songs. When Black couples did appear, they were often portrayed as tragic, dysfunctional, or doomed. The message was clear. Our love didn't matter as much. This myth is dangerous because it makes us doubt ourselves. It can make us question whether we deserve happiness, whether our relationships are good enough, whether our love is worth fighting for. It can make us settle for less, or give up too soon, or hide our joy from the world. But the truth is, Black love is powerful. It's beautiful. It's worthy of celebration, of protection, of pride. If you look closer, you'll see love stories that are just as epic, just as moving, just as real as any other. You'll see couples who have built lives together, who have overcome obstacles, who have created families and communities. You'll see love that is tender, that is passionate, that is enduring. You'll see relationships that are full of laughter, of hope, of dreams for the future. Let's talk about another myth. Black love is always about survival. This myth is rooted in real history. There's no denying that Black couples have had to fight for the right to love, to build families, to create safe spaces. But the myth goes further, suggesting that love is only about making it through, about holding on, about getting by. It ignores the joy, the creativity, the abundance that is possible in Black relationships. The truth is, Black love is more than just survival. It's about thriving. It's about building something beautiful, something lasting, something that brings joy and fulfillment. It's about dreaming together, about creating new possibilities, about imagining a future that is bigger and brighter than anything that's come before. If you look closer, you'll see couples who are not just surviving, but thriving.
You'll see partners who are building businesses, who are traveling the world, who are raising children with hope and confidence. You'll see relationships that are full of adventure, of laughter, of growth. You'll see love that is expansive, that is creative, that is full of possibility. Now, let's address the myth that Black love is always the same. This one is subtle, but it's everywhere. It's the idea that all Black relationships look the same, that they follow the same patterns, that they face the same challenges. But the truth is, Black love is as diverse as the people who create it. It's found in every corner of the world, in every kind of family, in every kind of community. Think about the couples you know. Maybe they grew up in the same neighborhood, or maybe they met online from opposite sides of the globe. Maybe they share the same faith, or maybe they come from different backgrounds. Maybe they have children, or maybe they don't. Maybe they're loud and outgoing, or quiet and reserved. Black love is all of these stories and more. This myth is dangerous because it erases individuality. It tells us that our stories don't matter, that our experiences aren't unique, that our love isn't special. But if you look closer, you'll see relationships that are full of personality, of quirks, of inside jokes. You'll see couples who are building lives that are uniquely their own, who are creating traditions, who are making memories that no one else can replicate. Black love is not a monolith. It's a tapestry, woven from 1,000 different threads. It's shaped by history, by culture, by family, by personal experience. It's found in every kind of relationship, in every kind of community, in every kind of life. Let's talk about one more myth in this section. Black love is only for Black people. This myth is rooted in the idea that love is limited by race, that our relationships are only valid if they fit into certain boxes. But the truth is, love is universal. It's about connection, about partnership, about building a life together. Black love is for anyone who is willing to show up, to do the work, to build something real. If you look closer, you'll see relationships that cross boundaries, that bridge differences, that create new possibilities. You'll see couples who are building families that are multicultural, that are multilingual, that are full of love and understanding. You'll see love that is open, that is inclusive, that is welcoming. Black love is a gift. It's a source of strength, of pride, of joy. It's something to be celebrated, to be protected, to be cherished. It's not limited by race, by gender, by age, by background. It's for anyone who is willing to love deeply, to build bravely, to dream boldly. Let's take a closer look at the myth that Black love is always serious and heavy. This myth is rooted in the real struggles that Black couples have faced, but it ignores the joy, the playfulness, and the lightness that are just as much a part of Black relationships. It's the idea that every conversation has to be deep, every moment has to be meaningful, every day has to be a fight for survival. But the truth is, Black love is also about laughter, about fun, about finding moments of happiness even in the midst of chaos.
Think about the couples you know who make each other laugh, who dance in the kitchen, who tease each other with inside jokes. Think about the families who celebrate together, who throw the best cookouts, who turn even the smallest victories into reasons to party. Black love is full of joy. It's full of music, of movement, of celebration. It's about finding reasons to smile, even when the world feels heavy. This myth is dangerous because it makes people feel guilty for being happy. It tells us that we have to be serious all the time, that we can't let our guard down, that we can't just enjoy each other's company. But if you look closer, you'll see couples who are playful, who are silly, who are unafraid to be themselves. You'll see relationships that are built on a foundation of joy, of shared laughter, of mutual delight. Let's talk about another myth. Black love is always about sacrifice. This one is tricky because sacrifice is a real part of any relationship. There are times when we have to put our partner's needs before our own, when we have to make hard choices, when we have to give up something for the sake of the relationship. But the myth goes further, suggesting that Black love is only about sacrifice, that happiness is always out of reach, that love is always about giving up instead of gaining. The truth is, Black love is about balance. It's about give and take, about supporting each other, about finding ways to meet each other's needs.
It's about building a partnership where both people can thrive, where both people can grow, where both people can find fulfillment. It's about creating a life that is rich and rewarding, not just for one person, but for both. If you look closer, you'll see couples who are building lives that are full of abundance. You'll see partners who support each other's dreams, who celebrate each other's successes, who find ways to make each other's lives better. You'll see relationships that are built on a foundation of mutual respect, of shared goals, of deep understanding. Now, let's address the myth that Black love is always about struggle against the world. This myth is rooted in real challenges: racism, discrimination, economic inequality, but it ignores the ways that Black couples create their own worlds, their own safe spaces, their own sources of strength. It's the idea that love is always a battle, that happiness is always just out of reach, that peace is always temporary. But the truth is, Black love is about building sanctuary. It's about creating a home, a family, a community where you can be yourself, where you can find rest, where you can heal. It's about finding peace in each other, about creating a space where you are seen, where you are valued, where you are loved. If you look closer, you'll see couples who are building sanctuaries. You'll see families who are creating traditions, who are passing down wisdom, who are building legacies of love and hope. You'll see communities who are supporting each other, who are lifting each other up, who are creating spaces of safety and joy. Let's talk about one more myth in this section. Black love is always about proving something. This myth is rooted in the pressure to be perfect, to represent the community, to show the world that Black love is real and valuable. It's the idea that every relationship is a statement, a symbol, a battle cry. But the truth is, love is personal. It's about two people, sometimes more, finding connection, building trust, and creating a life together. This myth is dangerous because it puts pressure on couples to be perfect, to never make mistakes, to always be on display. It can make people hide their struggles, afraid of being judged or misunderstood. But if you look closer, you'll see couples who are just living their lives, who are building relationships that are real, that are messy, that are full of growth and change. Black love is not about proving something to the world. It's about building something that feels right to you. It's about finding joy in each other, about creating a life that is meaningful, about building a partnership that is strong and lasting. Let's take a moment to talk about the myth that Black love is always about defined by pain from the past. This myth is rooted in real history, generations of trauma, loss, and separation that have shaped the Black experience. It's the idea that every relationship is haunted by what came before, that every couple is carrying the weight of history, that healing is always just out of reach. But while it's true that the past shapes us, it doesn't have to define us. Black love is more than pain. It's about healing, about growth, about building something new. Think about the couples you know who have turned pain into purpose, who have used their experiences to build stronger relationships, who have found ways to heal together. Think about the families who have broken cycles, who have created new traditions, who have chosen forgiveness over bitterness. Black love is about resilience, about the ability to move forward, about the courage to hope for something better. This myth is dangerous because it can make people feel trapped by the past. It can make couples believe that they are doomed to repeat old patterns, that happiness is impossible, that love is always a struggle. But the truth is, relationships are full of hope, of possibility, of new beginnings. You'll see couples who are writing their own stories, who are choosing to build something different, who are creating a future that is brighter than anything that came before. Let's talk about another myth that's often reinforced by the outside world. Black love is always on the defensive. This myth is rooted in the reality that Black couples have often had to defend their relationships against stereotypes, against discrimination, against the constant questioning of their legitimacy.
It's the idea that every relationship is a battle, that every couple has to be ready to fight for their right to love, to be together, to build a life. But while there are challenges, it's also true that Black love is more than defense. It's about celebration, about pride, about joy. Think about the couples you know who celebrate their love openly, who are proud of their partnership, who refuse to hide or apologize for their happiness. Think about the families who throw big reunions, who take pride in their history, who tell stories of love that have lasted for generations. Black love is more than surviving. It's about thriving, about finding reasons to celebrate, about building a legacy that will last a lifetime. Let's talk about another myth, that Black love is always about teaching lessons. This one is especially common in the way Black relationships are portrayed in the media. Every story is a lesson. Every couple is a symbol. Every relationship is a teachable moment. But the truth is, love is about living, not just teaching. It's about experiencing, about growing, about finding meaning in the everyday moments.